one time I went to the mall with my mom. Not one time, obviously. I've been to the mall with my mom many times. But anyways, and I was very young. I was just like maybe, this is like 4 or 5 years old, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know how old I was. I don't know, but I was quite young. Okay, so my mom kept me on quite a long leash, not a physical leash. People actually do that. Have you seen? It's absolutely insane. Like people on leashes, that kid just runs far enough and say, "Hey, come here." And I'm sure my parents would have loved something like that from me. But anyways, so I go just ahead of my mom, and I just like exploring, she lets me, as long as she keeps an eye on me, it's all good. But then I lose her in the crowd because it's quite a busy time in the mall, and I'm like, okay, I don't know where she is. I just stand still. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Then okay, I see her, I spot her. Okay, run, cool. I'm relieved because I was stressing a little bit. And so I just grab her by the hand, like just a little kid just taking your parent's hand. And then this person looks down, and then I'm like, "You're not my mom." And she's like, "Whoa, who is this?" And my mom is behind me. She's laughing. She's like, "Ah," because she can see this whole thing, like my foolishness, So yeah. Anyways, let's start the show. Hello and welcome back, everybody. It's been quite a while for me, to be honest. I've been taking breaks, from doing this, from doing the podcast and all that. But that's okay, I don't think I can do a good podcast if I don't feel good, And last week was kind of a rough week, man. I had so much time where I just wasn't feeling good, man, at all, Sorry, let me just not feeling good at all, just feeling so, I don't want to say down, but feeling so, feeling like that washcloth that you haven't used in a long time, it's dry and it's hard and it's just there and it looks ugly and old, and I just felt like that. Or maybe that little that pair of shoes that you only wear at home because it looks too gaga to wear anywhere else, I just felt, that's how I felt, or that, what else, I feel like that, that sock that you accidentally drop behind the washing machine and it's just there constantly, it's collecting dust and it's still dirty. It was dirty before it was there because it needed to be washed. You just feel like that sometimes, man. And I just think, I don't think I can make a good episode, by my standards, of course. I'm not really here to entertain the masses, but because this is something that I enjoy doing. But if I don't feel good, man, I don't think I can really be myself, which is what this whole podcast is about, because the whole thing, you're like, I want to do this. I do this podcast because it's a place where I get to freely express myself without being afraid of being judged for maybe being weird or being unusual or anything like that, because I guess in public I do feel like there's a certain, I want to say expectation, but I don't know if it's expectation really, but in public there's certain rules, societal rules that you have to adhere to, that is you could say acceptable behavior, But I feel, from my perspective, I feel like society is too strict, Like, one thing, I'll give you an example. So I like singing, I'm not a good singer or anything, but I just like singing, la da dee da da da, just something that is in my own head, like something that comes out of my own head, or a song that I like, and then I will just, like, wherever I am, I'm not a shy person, so I'm not really concerned about who's around, I don't care for that. So I will just sing, like, I'll just be like, I'll catch a grenade, just in the mall, and I'm walking with my girlfriend. She's a super introvert, or like maybe my little brother, he's also a super introvert, right? And I will just be singing there, and they will literally like walk away from me. like as if they don't know me. They won't they won't even say like, hey man, what are you doing, and I know it's weird, but nobody's paying attention. Like everybody's on their own mission, meaning nobody cares. You're free to do what you want in society, man. But yeah, what feels funny afterwards is just the conversation afterwards where they say, hey man, you made me feel really uncomfortable when you did that, And that's just what introverts are like, actually. And I think most of the people in my life that are important to me are introverts, So I guess I have to just, be mindful, very mindful, that dumb trend. Whenever people discover a word that is no longer part of the, the normal lexicon, it becomes a trend, which is wild. You just, all that happened was you learned a new word. It doesn't need to be a trend. It's crazy. Like there was a time, even speaking about trends, there was a time, dude, where people were just kicking, where they would put a bottle there, and then they would just, kick the cap of the bottle, and everyone's doing this, dude. I'm like, what a contribution to society, Why are we doing this stupid thing, And most of these trends are really stupid. Like even these dance trends. Now I respect dance. I respect any art form because an art form requires discipline and practice and a certain degree of creativity and expression, and it's not an easy thing, dude. It's not an easy thing. So when it comes to like dancing, I respect real dancing, not this thing where you're just moving about in the space of a little screen. You're not really dancing. You're just like sort of waddling about, with a rhythm. And some of it looks cool, but the rest of it, man, come on, man. I'm sure you can make something cooler. And what's wild is, man, that, like someone makes something like that and then it gets like millions of views. Like, why? Why does that mean? I don't understand it, But yeah, we are just a very interesting society, man. We have a very interesting society, But what I want to say, so speaking of leashes, right, this is a wild thing that people do. Like I've seen it. I don't know, is this a new trend or is it just for kids who are sort of like me when I was a kid, just this wild child. You don't know how to control him. You're scared he's gonna hurt himself. You're scared he's gonna hurt others by accident or whatever, just one of those wild kids. You know what I mean? You know the kid. Like there's, as I said, that there was a child that popped into your head. You're like, yeah, nah, that kid, So I see what people do in the mall nowadays. They have like this, and it's actually messed up, dude. Come on, that's a bit messed up. They'll wear it's like a harness, right? This kid has a harness strapped to his torso. At the back of the harness is a clip. And you hook that on, and then you've got a leash, and you can like measure how long you want the leash to be, And then let's say that kid just gets a bit wily there in front, just pull him back, And that child is like, oh, I can't believe we live in such a world, man. What is that all about? Like, someone please explain that to me, It cracks me up. There's so many things about society that like, oh man, that makes me laugh. Like, and that's one of them for sure. But yeah, what was I talking about just now? It doesn't matter. Anyways, welcome to the show. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. If you're new to the show, and if you're new, yes, welcome. If you're not new to the show, welcome back. And I have a feeling that so far everyone who watches is kind of people who just come back and watch, So I appreciate that. And yeah, it's been a bit of an interesting couple of weeks for me. I know I dropped an episode on Monday, but that was already a week old by the time I posted it, or 2 weeks old. Yeah, because I just haven't been all right, man. I just haven't been all right. So yeah, it's the like schedule wise things have been crazy, but I don't like making excuses. And I think that's the thing that bothers me, actually, if I'm honest. Like, it's like nobody's forcing you to keep to a strict schedule, but there's a voice inside your head that's saying, hey man, you're supposed to keep it consistent, keep it regular, and I try not to get into my own head about those things, but I mean, I've been getting in my head about it, because it's like I keep making content, but I don't find the time to really put it out there, and that's okay. That is what it is. And I think it just requires some extra planning, and that's what I've been up to, just trying to plan things, be more strategic with my time. And I think that's important. I think if you have things that you're trying to achieve, but you also have a list of responsibilities that you need to absolutely do, and there's no one else that's gonna do it, it has to be you, then you just have to do it, man. But you shouldn't sacrifice your own goals and your own projects and your own your own endeavors for the sake of that. You should be able to prioritize that, but find a way to make these other things happen, and it's not easy, for sure, man. For sure it's not easy, but yeah, I think the main thing is I got into my head about it, and I'm done with getting into my head. Like, don't get into your head about it. Just don't what is it, what do they call it, overthinking. Yeah, just don't overthink it, man. I think you're like, the amount of times I've told people not to overthink it, then I go and overthink, But it's a human thing, But that's not an excuse, Something that I find interesting in the Bible that I hardly ever hear about, You never really hear people say this aspect about the Bible is from beginning to end. Whenever there's a requirement, a rule, a law, a suggestion, advice, this is how you live a good life, It's always go beyond your human nature. Overcome what nature has placed in you, And that's fascinating, When it comes to anger, when it comes to anger, when it comes to being a bit gluttonous with like alcohol, or being, a bit promiscuous like David, alcohol like maybe Noah, or anger like Cain, and also like Noah. No, did I say Moses? Cain and Moses, they're similar in a way in that they have allowed their anger to dictate their actions, and it results in a heavy thing like a murder. But it's funny that the Lord designed us this way. He wants us always to overcome, to get beyond our programming, to go beyond our design, to be more than what you are, and I think that's beautiful. It's easy to hate, it's easy to be angry, it's easy to be selfish, it's easy to be spiteful, it's easy to it's easy to do all those things. The difficult thing is to love. The difficult thing is to do charity. The difficult thing is to be good, because so much of what is considered nature is bad, and man, that's so fascinating. And that's what separates us from the animals. I think the animals can just do whatever they want. They've been doing it for millions of years, and and we are. Oh, sorry. Wow, I just got a bit of a thing here in my eye, man, and that is what you call an eye snot. Anyways, I call it eye snot. I don't know what it's actually called, but yeah, but it's pretty weird actually that's there. But I was laughing earlier, so maybe that's the thing. I was laughing so lekker. I just like watching certain stand-up comedy and certain podcasts done by comedians. It's always hilarious, But yeah, anyways, what else has been going on? I've been trying to challenge myself to keep up with things that are taking place in the world without allowing it to take me to a place where I'm freaking out, because I freak out a lot about things. I freak out about war and about AI and about yeah, man, natural disasters and all that stuff. But it's like I'm challenging myself to keep up with current events without being affected by them, because that's what the Stoics would do. They'd be like, nah, sharp, it's fine that I know that, but I'm not going to allow that to disturb me in any sort of way, So that's just a nice challenge I've been trying to put to myself, to see the news and to, just sort of just see the news, you just see it and then that's it, and because there's a lot of wild stuff that happened, like there are some wild people, and I wish I could sort of just have it on there, but maybe that's an idea for future, with the podcast. I want to be able to just look on a screen, because the screen is behind me, and unfortunately this is the only way that I can make it happen. But I think there might be a different way that I can try and make it happen, where I'll be able to see things on a screen. I'll be able to search whatever and it can just pop up, then I can tell you some more things, about stuff I've seen, but it's all very interesting, One thing that's very clear is that for some reason when I go on social media, and I don't do that often, I really like going on Reddit, because Reddit is far more interesting. It's unfiltered. It's very raw, Facebook and Instagram is a bit more tame, and TikTok is just this bizarre app, and it truly is bizarre. It's like you're only gonna see things you like for some reason, and it's like I'm not gonna go into it, because I think what happens with a thing like TikTok, and that's what, like, I don't want to freak myself out, but I'm gonna, okay, or let me see if I can talk about this without getting freaked out. But TikTok has such an accurate algorithm that when whatever you like to talk about, whatever you like to do, whatever you like to watch, whatever interests you have, it's going to give you that. And then it'll suggest one or two things that you've never seen before, just to test, can we add this to your things, And then you might just scroll past it, or you might watch it. And they count like milliseconds, They count milliseconds. I'm sure there's a way that they can eventually, that they will be able to track eye movement, just to see where exactly on the screen are you looking, But they use that to feed more of that to you, to keep you on the app, And TikTok does it the best, I think. I think Instagram is still a bit weird, which I think is good, actually. Let it not be too accurate, man. Like, don't keep me on your app, dude. It's gonna make me want to get rid of it, because I don't want to be captured by something. Who wants that? Like, that's when it becomes an addiction, right? And I mean, I don't want any addiction, dude. Stay away from alcohol. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from, I want to say, sugar. I like sugar, but I don't know if I'm addicted to sugar. Actually, you know what happened there? So we were doing groceries. We forgot to buy sugar. We were out of sugar. There wasn't time over the next 2 days to go and buy sugar. We lead busy lives. So there was no sugar, dude. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to have a cup of coffee without sugar. Dude, that was terrible. Why don't you just throw engine oil in my mouth? Like, let me drink engine oil, dude. I'm sure that tastes better. Or why don't you... No, let me not get too vulgar. I was going to say something very disgusting now, but I don't want to do that. But it's nasty, man. And the thing is, I don't know. It doesn't have the same. It's not the same, And some people like coffee without sugar. And those people are maniacs. And if you like coffee without sugar, you can stop watching now. Just leave. We don't want you here. You can go there with the people who chew ice. You can go there to those people. You can go to the people who have loudspeaker. They have conversations on the phone in public on loudspeaker, dude. Yeah, you can go with those people. Go. You guys are all gonna get on a boat, and we're gonna take you to an undisclosed location. Actually, we're just gonna blow up the boat, and then the boat sinks. You all are, move on to the next life. anyways, but that's nothing on me, bro. If you like sugar or you don't, whatever. But yeah, go there if you don't. But anyways, so I like my coffee with sugar, dude. But I've also been feeling lately, I don't put too much sugar in my coffee anymore. Like it used to be 4 sugars, right? Nowadays 4 sugars is too sweet. I don't know, does that just happen when you get old, where you're like so now I'm at 3 sugars, which is interesting, even for my tea. And I don't drink tea often, just maybe so now and then in the evening, just a nice little treat for myself, just to have a cup of tea. But yeah, and a cup of tea is nice with a biscuit for some reason. Just a nice little tennis biscuit, or a nice little what is it called, Romany creams or something. Just a nice little thing, and that's so nice. Oh my word. And I actually feel like I want to get some of that right now. But yeah, how much time do we have? I forgot to put the time up now. And I don't know what time I started, to be honest. Do you mind if I just check here quickly? Sorry about this. How very unprofessional of you, Xavier. Just let the people see the back of your head, huh? Let's just click here. All right, we've been going for about 23 minutes. Okay, not even reading the time properly, Xavier. So it's 23 minutes and alrighty, okay. Well, I guess I can carry on. I don't want to talk too long. That's the thing, man. Like I feel like maybe you guys are not. Nobody's really built that way to sit and listen to a man talk to himself for 3 hours, or for 2 hours, or for 1 hour. So I'm trying to keep it under an hour. That's always been my goal, but it's tough, man. It's difficult to keep it under an hour. But anyways, I wanna. What was I gonna say now? What has been going on, man? It's been business as usual for me, to be honest. Business as usual, and what that means is just that I run a lot of errands, and that's a challenge at times, because it really has a huge conflict with my goals and all that. What else has been going on? Yeah, I've been going to work a lot lately. So normally, like, my job doesn't really require me to show up too often. It's only really on a requirement basis. But lately I've been required a lot more, which is awesome, and I enjoy working, but it has now really disrupted, the flow of time for me, But you have to be adaptive, and that's what I've been telling myself as well. Just be adaptive, just sort of like understand that plans will change, whether you want them to or not. Things will change. And I think you should still plan. Because a lot of a lot of people might say, nah, but why bother planning then if it's just not gonna be that the plan works out? It's like no, still plan, because what comes out of it eventually is going to be a variation of your plan. But if you don't plan at all, then, and you expect things to, like, how's that gonna work? Explain that. So I've just been trying to just be okay with that, because what happens is, right, we plan stuff, and maybe this is why people don't like to plan. You plan something, it goes terribly wrong, or it just starts off going great, like whatever day you have planned starts going great, and this is normally the case, right? The first few hours of the day of the plan, things are going swimmingly. Oh my god, sorry, I don't know why. I never yawn except when I'm filming, and I don't understand why. We need a doctor in here. Can we get a doctor in here, please? If you're a doctor, you can just say there in the comments and tell me what's up with that. Why am I yawning? Anyways, so I wanted to... What was I saying now? Jeez! What was I talking about? I got off track now. I was talking about planning. So the first few days, hours of the day might go, perfectly, but then there's a hiccup, and then another hiccup, and then things just don't work out the way you wanted to, And I believe if you prepare yourself, that things might not go well, it's not going to disturb you too much. It's not going to ruin your day. It's not going to make you feel like you shouldn't bother planning. It's not gonna make you feel like you are just, angry or frustrated. It's not gonna make you feel that way. So that's kind of been working for me. I think I've really tried to be okay with not being able to practice on the piano. I don't really have, like, for me, a good practice session is like an hour. Oh, sorry, not an hour, 2 hours, right? And I just haven't been able to find 2 hours. Now this is something that I take about an hour to do. Whether or not the episode is an hour is irrelevant, because even if it's 45 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever, it still takes about an hour to set everything up, to prepare myself mentally. So yeah, like that's I've just been trying to figure that one out, man, because you want the progression. You want life to move in a forward direction, right? And what that means is that, okay, tomorrow has to be better than yesterday, and some days are gonna be bad or all that, but you should always attempt to have a better day than you did yesterday, right? And then, but not only that, but you need to be a better person today than you were yesterday, And in that way, you keep building yourself up. You keep on improving yourself, Because in this world, it's you versus you. It's you versus you. I believe 90% of all of our problems it is caused by us. I believe that. 90% of my own problems are caused by me, And if you are able to just be honest with yourself and be like, this is how I'm being an idiot. This is how I'm being an idiot. This is how I'm being an idiot. I need to change that, and life will get better. And you know what? It does. Circumstances might not be great, but life can be, And that's something important to think about. So I think about that stuff a lot, actually. But yeah, it starts with planning. It really starts with planning. And I'm trying to, I don't think a plan can ever go 100% right, It's even like with music. Did you know that there's this commonly held belief, right? And it's a belief, it's a superstition, but it can also become a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And it goes like this. They say that the last rehearsal before the performance will always be better than the performance itself. That is so funny. And I think it's probably, now if that were true, okay, let's just assume it's true. It's probably just because the pressure of the performance kind of spoils the performance a little bit. That's why the rehearsal is better, because in the rehearsal there's none of that extra, and you can't bring that pressure into your brain to say we are performing right now. You can put yourself in performance mode to really be super focused and to execute everything perfectly, but you cannot prepare yourself for the feeling, for the vibe, the energy of performance day, And I think that's just true for most things in life. Anything that you're preparing yourself for is going to go absolutely amazing towards the end of your preparations. And then it's going to just drop a bit during the performance of it, or during the time that, okay, now's the time to make it happen, But then again, some performances... Sorry. Oh my word. I don't know why I'm yawning like that. That's wild. And it's happened before, actually. Jeez. But anyways, so I think, yeah, like it's not going to be you're not going to be able to like really perform. What am I saying? Oh, some performances are amazing, dude. So then you wonder, okay, was rehearsal better than that performance? It can't be, because that was the best thing I've ever seen, And then you're like, okay, so it's maybe just a myth, and because it's a myth, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that's and I think that's just true for everything. And I think it's just if you overthink it, when you're a kid, nobody hypes up the performance, when you're a child learning to play an instrument. You just have to practice. Okay, here's the day you play. There's no big deal made of it, and then you just absolutely smash it out of the park, Yeah, so I wonder, like, and that's again that thing that we do to ourselves, I think. Now I wonder how much does that happen? How many times in life don't we ruin our own performance because we get so hyped up about the performance itself, you know? Whereas if we just don't hype the performance, but you make sure you keep on improving in rehearsal. Every rehearsal has to go better and better and better. When the day comes, you just activate the program. You know, you've programmed yourself in those rehearsals. Now you just have to activate the program and let it run itself, and then you have a good performance. Oh my word! Or try to even do a better performance, and that can happen as well. That can happen as well. I feel like searching. You know what? I'm gonna do this. I don't even care anymore at this point. Sorry. I'm gonna just use this right now to search. Okay. So I'm just gonna search a few things. What I wanna search is, why do we yawn? Why do we yawn? Why do we yawn? Yawning is a reflex that occurs for various reasons, including sleepiness, stress, boredom. I don't think. Do you think I'm bored? Maybe boring, but not bored. Contagious quality. Seeing another person yawn. Yeah, what's up with that? Why does that happen? You know, I guess you can have as much control. I wonder, did I make you yawn now? Did I make you yawn now? Oh, that's fascinating. So I went like, oh, there I make myself yawn for you. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, my God. And then you yawn. Imagine. I hope that's happening to you. Yeah. Anyways, lumbering up for activities such as a workout or performance. So yawning is a reflex that occurs for various reasons, including lumbering up for an activity such as workout or performance. Do you think I'm yawning because I'm doing this? And it happens every time I do this. Well, that's a weird one, eh? I didn't know you do that. Increasing blood flow to the brain. Yeah, maybe my brain is like, come, we need more thoughts. Give us more air. What is it? Increase blood flow. Let's increase some more blood to the brain. Let's make a yawn. All this talking about yawning is. Oh, so sorry. Oh my God. The next one says coordinating movement of thoracic muscles, diaphragm, larynx, and palate. So, wait. So if you just, I guess, mimic a yawn, you'll probably yawn? Fascinating. Or distributing surfactant in the lungs. Surfactant. Alright, well, we need to look at what a surfactant is. Surfactant. So there's something that our body does where surfactant or surfactants are chemical compounds that decrease the surface tension or interfacial tensions between two liquids. Okay, nah. I don't know what that means, but I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Anyways, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna do this for now up until I've find a way to get a display here that I can use, because that'll be better, especially when I have a guest on, and I'm excited for that. That's actually gonna happen soon, by the way. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but soon gonna have guests on. Man, I'm excited. Exciting. What else is exciting, huh? What else is exciting? Formula 1's going to be in South Africa. I don't know if I said that to you before, but I'm excited about that. Oh my word. It's not going to be the 2025 calendar, probably the 2026 calendar. They haven't confirmed the dates, but I know they've been meeting the people in the South African government have been meeting with the FIA, and they've been trying to see what needs to be done in order to, oh my word, spreading surfactants on my lungs. Surfactants. I've never even heard of that word before. Anyways, yeah. So members of the South African government, the Department of, I think, Sports, also Culture and Recreation, they've been meeting with the FIA to bring to see how they can bring Formula One back to South Africa, because South Africa used to be on the Formula One calendar. I don't even know when. You know what? Let's look it up. When was the last Formula One? Oh my word, I'm typing wrong. And now my phone doesn't want to correct me. Thanks for that, phone. You've just humiliated me. Formula One race in South Africa. South Africa. Okay, they're giving me a calendar. 3rd of November, Sao Paulo. Can't wait. No. Oh my word, they're giving me like a whole thing. No, man. Wait. Sorry. Let's just see here. Okay. Oh, there's also Jody Scheckter, 1975, is the only South African driver to be a world champion. No, that wasn't it. Here's it. After the end of apartheid in 1991, Formula One returned to Kyalami for 2 Grand Prix in 1992 and 1993. The event was dominated by Mansell. Of course, Nigel Mansell is an absolute beast. 1993 saw an intense battle between Prost, Ayrton Senna and Michael Schumacher, with Prost taking victory. In July 1993, Kyalami was sold to the African Automobile Association, which managed to run the facility at a profit. However, running Formula One event proved too costly and the Grand Prix did not return. That year's race having also been the last time that Formula One came to the African continent. Wow. And there's actually so many potential places to have Formula One. Like if I just look at African countries, South Africa is definitely one of them for sure. You could definitely have a racetrack in Zambia. Zambia is definitely, the development of Zambia has been incredible. Rwanda is also one of them. The president of Rwanda has been doing insanely great things for that country in terms of leaps forward in progress. Where else? Yeah, I think you could maybe try and do like Tunisia, like a nice exotic Mediterranean, almost like Monaco, like a Monaco style Grand Prix, and then you just have it in like a little town or city in Tunisia, like in Tunis. That'll be interesting. Yeah, just, but I don't know, are there any conflicts there? Like, 'cause you don't want an armed conflict to be in an area where there's Formula One race. That would be crazy. But anyways, so there's a lot of potential places, man, to do a Formula One race in South Africa. I think there's a couple places that can actually have like a Formula One race, but I'm very excited about that. So, and I will go broke. I promise you. I will spend all my money. I'll sell everything I have just to get there, just to experience a Formula One event. It has been a dream of mine for like a year now. Just a year, or let's say, I started getting interested in Formula One maybe over the last couple of years. I think that Netflix show Drive to Survive is one of my favorite shows on Netflix. I watch it. I watch that show like repeatedly. Like I've seen every episode multiple times, like maybe 3 or 4 times. Like I've watched that thing. So I'm very excited for that to eventually take place in South Africa, man. That would be amazing, because I know for a fact that there's a huge South African fan base for the sport, So bring it back, man. And then let's see how we can make it happen where we take someone who's really good at karting, make them get into like Formula 4, Formula 3, and then they go up in the ranks, maybe then eventually joining Formula 1, but it's also very exclusive, man. And there's so much money involved. It's ridiculous, dude. It's become about the money, man. And it's the same with football, Before money was involved in football, it was just a couple of guys like, hey guys, let's get your team, get my team. We'll play a game, let's see who wins, let's see who's better at football. And then that becomes a thing, and it's obviously very entertaining for everybody. But now, like, football is the most a financially lucrative sport in the world, like billions and billions of dollars are is moving around within the sport of football, and it's all over the world. It's the biggest sport in the world. And that's a very interesting thing. I also saw, speaking of football, the Ballon d'Or award was given out recently, and apparently, so everyone expected Vinicius Jr. to win the Ballon d'Or, right? Now, I agree that Vinicius Jr. is one of the best players in the world, right? Rodri, who plays for Man City and for Spain, he won it, right? Now, I think that between those two players, it's tough to say, dude. How do you even say who must get it, But yeah, a lot of people are upset that Vinicius didn't win it, which I get. But I mean, it doesn't matter, to be honest, who wins it or not. The Ballon d'Or is just a very high honor. But if you're the best player in the world, man, fine, you're the best player in the world. But a soccer team is not one player. You're still gonna be part of a team. So yeah, it's an interesting thing, and who knows why they choose this stuff. It's all very and the other thing is also there's a lot of corruption in football. Wherever there's lots of money being moved around, there's gonna be corruption. Even with Formula One, the amount of rumors and scandals and potential scandals that take place within Formula One, and very very unscrupulous decisions that get made by the stewards, and penalties given out and penalties not given out, super weird stuff. But that's just the sport, man. That's just money, and human beings are never going to be perfect. There's always going to be some sort of dirty business going on, So yeah, what else can I say? What else has been going on, Oh, you know what, nah? I saw Donald Trump on Joe Rogan's podcast, right? Joe Rogan's podcast is, I don't watch it often because he has so many guests on, like almost every day he's posting a new episode, right? So I only really watch the ones where it's like an interesting, someone that I know that's in my sphere of interest, like someone who's maybe a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a physicist. I like it when physicists go on there, very smart people, or people who are like inventors and entrepreneurs, like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Like, I love listening to those people. But Donald Trump was on the Joe Rogan Experience, man, and that was an interesting conversation. Why? Because first of all, Joe Rogan does not edit the show. Like, nothing gets cut out from beginning to end. That's what you get, and I love that because it allows someone to be honest, and if you're having a conversation for 3 hours with somebody and you're not honest, dude, by hour 1 you're not going to be honest anymore, or rather your honesty is finally going to come out. You cannot maintain a facade for that long. It's exhausting, right? Especially when questions are asked of you that you're expected to be able to answer. I'm getting phone calls. I don't know what that's all about, but anyways, so it's interesting, man, and that's why I believe that podcasts are the future of media, right? Because it's not being manipulated. It's not being edited in some weird way where, for example, and I'm not too much into US politics because it has no bearing on my life or the life of my country or whatever, right? But I am a citizen of the world. I believe that, right? I think we all are. I think this whole idea of having allegiance to one set of borders over another set of borders is dumb as hell. And I think we should all just pool our resources together as the human race and go and explore space. I think that's what we need to do. Go find resources that are available, rich resources that are available in space, to improve the quality of all human life, and not about which ethnicity you belong to or which area, which border, which border space you come from. It's all dumb, man. So I think that's what we need to do. The idea of countries and presidents and all that stuff, man, it's become such a clown show, But anyways, this is what I'm getting at. There's a video, dude, of Kamala Harris. Now she's running for president as well against Donald Trump, right? And so in the interview that she's doing with somebody, she like completely messes up an answer. She's wrong, she's lying, it's humiliating, it's embarrassing, right? And then there was a news show that I think she was on, and they changed her response from an older interview somewhere where she said something different. They did that for her, instead of just showing the truth, and that's fascinating, man. That's like, what the hell? What is that about, So I wonder, and the reason why I not concern myself with it, but the reason why I'm interested in things that happen in the US is because things that happen in America, right? America's sort of the influencer of the world, Someone who does something sets a trend that follows throughout the rest of the world, right? And the way that let's not call it that, let's call it the West, but America is sort of the face of the West, right? And we tend to follow suit with everything that happens in the West. So, like for example, how successful water companies are becoming. In South Africa, they're not as successful. You're not going to get like cool ads and sponsorship deals from a water company, let's say. Maybe you can, and if you guys want to sponsor me, that'd be really cool. But in America, like, water is a huge thing because the tap water is undrinkable, right? South Africa, the tap water is also undrinkable. So you see where I'm going with this. The fact that we follow trends constantly set by the US, it's going to happen here in South Africa as well, man. Speaking of South Africa, it's the most bizarre thing, and we need to stop doing this. They are celebrating, like I saw the other day, they celebrated 200 days without load shedding. Like 200 days of constant electricity. Is that an achievement? How is that an achievement? How is that an achievement? Like, someone explain, please. This is not an achievement. You are supposed to give us electricity because we pay for electricity. The fact that you haven't been able to has been utterly shameful. But it's not anything to celebrate if you can provide electricity, We're happy to have electricity, but we should have always had electricity, Not to take it for granted. We should be grateful. But still, man, celebrate, 200 days without load shedding. Okay, you guys are all idiots, man. But yeah, anyways, what else are we looking at? Just want to check the time again. Oh my word, I think we're sort of approaching the 50-minute mark. We are. What else has been going on, man? It's all been very interesting. I think I like being able to, look outside. Basically, look outside. Just open the window. That's what I think social media should be used for. Opening the window and seeing what else is going on around us and in the rest of the world, Like, what else, man? What else is going on that I found interesting? Yeah, nothing much, man. I just think that, we're living in a very crazy world, and it's all chaotic. It really is. And sometimes you are just, sometimes you don't want to be part of it, and that's what I feel like sometimes, Like, I avoid social media more often than not now because I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to see something sad. I don't want to see something devastating, But I also don't want to be distracted with funny things and things that capture my attention that's distracting me from serious, pertinent issues. So that's a very weird balance a person has to strike, you know, like where do you even, but you do control what you follow, you control what you watch. So it's I guess it's a lot of it is really in your own hands, both literally and figuratively, because it is physically in your hand, you know. But yeah, I guess we learned a lot about yawning today. That's fun, and I've been trying to like literally fight the yawn the whole time, and I don't understand what that's all about. But I think I'm gonna go do more research on yawning. Have you ever done that? Have you ever went down a rabbit hole about yawning? Only on this show will you discover something like that. But you know what? I think I'm just gonna. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. I don't want to go like a full hour, because most of you don't watch till all the way, anyways, which is fine. Whatever. But anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being all over the show with me. I'll talk to you next week. Bye bye.